I'm Eilidh MacPherson, and for the past 21 years I've been producing farmingscotland.com magazine. Welcome to the first video. Thanks to sponsors Ewan Stewart and Sons of Comrie. Rhoda Munro picked me up at the Alberferry Pier on her rib, and off we set on an adventure to the Isle of Gometra. Her mother had kindly prepared lunch for us before the work began.
So Gometra, I took on Gometra 2014 after losing my dad. Before that, my dad had a contract shepherd job up there. But we've always had ties with Gometra, because when we ran Ulva, we had the sheep on Ulva, we looked after the sheep on Gometra for the owners. So then, once my mum and dad left Ulva, they moved to Gometra, which my dad took on the contract shepherd on Gometra. So then I sadly lost him in 2014. So I came back from the East Coast, and I took on the contract because Gometra is a very challenging place to get to and from. Not easy. It's certainly not easy at all. The job was advertised up there after losing my dad for somebody to go there, but nobody applied, so you have to be born and bred. It has to be in the blood to do that type of thing. I mean, I'm very independent. I have my 2 quads in Gometra. I have my own rib to get back and forward to Gometra to look after the sheep. My mum stays in Gometra, she's a lifesaver because she really helps me as well. She keeps an eye on things for me. She's great. While I'm in time, she'll check things for me. Or sometimes I can't get up. I have to go twice a day up to the island. So I'll go up on the island. I'll be in Gometra by 6 o'clock. So I'll leave Mull with my croft about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll arrive up in Gometra by 6. And I'll have the checks done, and I'll leave Gometra again, usually by 10 o'clock, and I'll go home to my own sheep. And then later on in the afternoon, I'll go back up again. This is in my rib boat, which is an hour by sea from my place. So the weather conditions is sometimes pretty harsh, but you just got to go on with it. I mean, just got to plough on through it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a black-faced sheep I'm there for, so I'd do anything for them to be there with them. So I'm pretty determined to get up to the island to look them. So yeah, the island is 1,200 acres, and it runs just over a couple of hundred yards on it. I'm trying to get the numbers back up, but I'm trying to get the bracken controlled a bit. We've got a topper this year from the owner, so hopefully we'll get a lot topped with the bracken. It is an organic place, so we can't spray. Hopefully we'll get the topper on the go, and we'll get the numbers sneaked back up a wee bit for the ewes. But the island's actually probably one of the hardest places I've ever gathered. It is such a hard place to gather. There's so many nooks and crannies. You have no flat faces or nice rolling hills, or you can't see for miles. You don't know what's happening around that corner. It's a very, very, very hard place to gather. People might think, you're on an island, it must be really easy. No, it's not easy at all. There's nothing easy about the island. Even getting to and from of it is not easy. It's just, I know how to do it because it's in my blood. I've done it most of my life. I'd say the most challenging thing about Gometra is getting the lambs and cast ewes off the island, which is, we have to take them down 10, 15 at a time in the quad bike and trailer down to the pier where my brother comes in. I'm very lucky to have my brother do this. He comes in with his fishing boat, but it's tidal, so we have to work with tides and we have to work with winds, and we also have to work with him as well because he's a fisherman and he's got his own fishing to do. So yeah, we all have to work together. We work a good team. We really do. The two of us work a good team when we're getting the lambs on and off. He's very good with the lambs as well. So, but again, he was brought up with them on Alva. Yeah, so that is quite challenging, getting the lambs and the ewes off the island for the sales. They look amazing on the island. I mean, I put pictures up of them all the time. They just look amazing, really, really nice. But the time these animals get to sale, they're so tired, they're so empty. They can go off a couple of days before the sale, and they just don't look good. But I know how good they are. When I took the ewes on, I started running them again up in Gometra. They're not my ewes. I mean, I'm a contract shepherd. They're the owner of the island's ewes. But I treat them as my own. So I started improving them because I'm really not sure what kind of tups my dad was buying for the island. But now this is like 11 years I've been on the island now, and I have a vast improvement of the blackface stock up there. The stock is amazing looking. I have stuck with one type, and I've bought from Lurg Blackies for 11 years. Well, before that, even from my own place. My own place is Lurg Bloodlines, but Gometra's all Lurg Bloodlines. The tups thrive well. I can put them out and they work well, and they all come back in. They last a long time with me. This is why I just stick to the type. You've got to stick to something that is good for you. I've started selling the cast ewes privately now and gimmers away privately. It's mainly because they're like the condition. Just when you get the animals off the island, they're just never looking their best, and you never get the price you want for them. So yeah, I've been selling them private now for the last, I think it's maybe 3 years, and one's an organic breeder, and he's been back continuously for them. He really likes them, and there's another lad as well that's been buying them as well. And yeah, I sell them no problem privately. They go away and they thrive really well for people, these ewes, and they perform really, really well. Probably better on the mainland than they do on Gometra. But I mean, Gometra is quite a harsh place. I mean, you would think it was, a lovely wee island, but nah, it's a wild place. There's no trees. It's very, very exposed. There's not much shelter at all. There's the odd wall. But yeah, it is a very wild place. I've had some challenging times coming up and down the loch to Gometra when I'm going at lambing time. It's probably because I'm quite determined, to get up there. But yeah, it's very challenging. But as I say, it's got to be in your blood. Born and bred in your blood to do it. I was brought up on the Isle of Alva with my family, where we ran 1,400 blackface ewes. Once I left school, I went to Oakridge College for a while, which I didn't really stick. I stuck it for a year. After that, I left and I went contract shearing and contract fencing with Neil MacPherson of Skirnish Farm down at Glenbar. I then came home and I had the chance to get a croft, which then was assigned to me, and I had the chance to buy it. I bought my croft in 1999 it was, which I stocked my croft with blackface sheep, of course, from the Hurley and Pole and Lurg. After getting my croft up and running, it needed fenced, the whole croft did, built a shed on it, and yeah, got it all sheep-proof and everything, I headed off again. So I went back over this time to the east coast of Scotland, where I worked on a broccoli tractor for the winter, which I had never experienced before. And then I ended up working for, well, it was Strathmore I was on, and I went and worked in their pig farm for 6 years. So I got a good experience of working with pigs. After the 6 years with the pigs, I decided to go back and work in farming with sheep and cattle, and I ended up going up Clover and worked with Rory Hood up at Clover there for, I think it was maybe two years. And then I sadly lost my dad in 2014, so that was it. It was time to come home again. So yeah, I arrived back on my croft in 2014 and got my croft running again. I'd let it out to my sister. My sister had left, so I got my croft back up and running again. Restocked again with the Lurg bloodlines, and so I've been back contracting from my croft, which I've been contract sheep shearing. I had the contract before at sheep shearing before I left here, so then I came back and I took on the contract sheep shearing again on Mull, which covers the majority of Mull. I also been doing a contract fencing in the winter time, and this winter there I've been working on 2 fishing boats, a crab boat and my brother's fishing boat, doing prawns and crabs and lobsters and everything, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy the fishing boats. They're good fun. It's hard work. It's hard weather. It's course. It's a different job. It's nothing for the faint-hearted. Like, you've got to go out there and get it done.
Thanks to our sponsors, Holliers, Ewan Stewart and Son of Comrie near Crieff in Perthshire. Ewan started the business in 1978 and took his first load to Mull 2 years later. A decade on, he was joined by son Alan, and now grandsons Andrew and Ewan are on board.